Hello everyone, Chris Ercoli alongside me, Will Holden. We are here for the HS Game Time Summer Passing League / Fall Football Kickoff. Football season only a few weeks away. Week 0 is just upon us, but now we want to take a moment to reflect upon Passing League. A lot of action going on in the past few months. A few teams that definitely caught our eye. We'll see if that translates onto the football field. Will, I know you were excited about a few teams.
Absolutely. I mean, should we start with the Big 8 since that is everybody's favorite conference?
Always, of course, the powerhouse Centennial and also Corona. What can you tell us? I mean, Centennial, obviously no secret there, but what can you tell us about them and Corona?
Sure, and we didn't see Centennial much on the actual passing league. We actually made it out to their actual spring game. And you know, the biggest thing about them, at least for a lot of people right now, is the fact that they've got a lot of offensive linemen returning, a lot of defensive linemen returning. But the skill players are there. You know, Romello Goodman is a guy that's coming back at running back for them. He was a guy that had some experience from a year ago. Guys a little bit more untested. Isaac Crandall, he's a transfer from Roosevelt. He really made some noise as far as kind of impressing us early on. And a guy as well, Chase Crevichet at the wide receiver position, didn't play, you know, a ton a season ago, and they're going to be catching passes from Hayden Gavitt, who is really kind of the unknown under center, you know, taking over for Michael Eubank. It's some big shoes to fill there. And, you know, speaking of that quarterback position, that's obviously where Corona has been a talking point on our passing circuits. Yeah. You know, we've got Shane Truelove.
He's been blowing up HSGT, getting us a lot of views.
He has been, you know, and in fact, his mother, or not his mother, but the mother of his girlfriend actually wanted that video.
Emailed you.
She did. She emailed me.
But explain for the people that may or may not have seen the video. You can see it on HSGT exactly what happens in that video.
He's disappointed, you could say, in how things turned out with his situation over there at Norco. Obviously, a transfer from Norco, and what was behind a coach's son there, another Gerhardt. And
familiar name around here.
Familiar name, of course, and was none too happy with the way things shook out. And you know, he blasted the Gerhardt family on the air. You know, and it might have been a bit of a rash move because he doesn't exactly have the starting job at Corona sewn up quite yet either. He's in competition with a guy, Levi Plant, who is just a junior. So if he were to lose that battle, then he's got to sit out the entire year for a guy that's not only going to be playing this year, but is the future of that program.
He was in that passing league at Paloma Valley when we saw him. He was trading a lot of reps. So definitely, as you said, definitely no guaranteed starter spot for him. But he was quite bold. I remember he said, called the young Gerhardt overrated automatic starter, I believe, was the nomenclature that he pulled out.
He said you have to get out of there because sometimes life throws you curveballs.
Yeah. Anyways, we're going to throw a curveball, or a changeup here, rather. Switch over to the Southwestern League. Great Oak, Vista Marietta, Marietta Valley. Obviously, Vista Marietta, the powerhouse out there, but Great Oak, Marietta Valley, no slouches either. What do we see from those guys?
You know, I mean, it was the Southwestern League. We actually got a chance to see quite a few of those teams. And Great Oak was one that impressed both of us. You know, they got a lot of experience coming back, 7 wide receivers that had experience from last year. Carson Luna is the guy that makes it all come together, though, at the quarterback position. He's grown up quite a bit, I would say. And really, I mean, his accuracy and his arm strength were on display in full force on the passing league circuit. That's going to be an interesting team to watch in that Southwestern League. And then, as you mentioned, Vista Marietta is always the favorite in that conference, it seems. And they've got some questions, in all honesty. You know, Nick Stevens is a guy that's coming in at quarterback this year. He's a first-year guy. He's a traditional pocket passer. You know, and that 6'3" frame really could serve him well. And you know, the question, though, is if he's going to have the weapons, I guess, at the skill position. The no question factor, I suppose, is the defensive side of the ball for Vista Marietta. They've got a couple of guys in Jeremy Castro and Sua Cravens who will be among the 2 top recruited players in this area on that side of the football, both at linebacker, defensive end sort of hybrid for Castro and a safety position for Sua Cravens. And then, you know, there was Marietta Valley. You know, in all honesty, I didn't get a chance to see a ton of them. You know, I mean, they've got some experience returning, but I'm going to want to have a little bit more of a look at them before I'm able to comment on them much.
Back on Vista Marietta, as much as you said that there may be some questions on the offensive side, we got to say at that passing league, at their facility that we saw, Great Oak was there. They also, San Jacinto was there, Moreno Valley was there. You still have to say it was definitely obvious that Vista Marietta was top dog.
I don't think there's any question. I mean, and it's obvious because of their, it's just their facilities, just their professionalism. They're a team that just knows how to win.
It would not be shocking to see them playing Centennial again for the all the marbles.
I don't think it would be shocking at all. No, I mean those two teams, as we said, I mean both of them lose quite a bit from last year, but both of them are programs that just know how to win.
All right, let's move on to the Sun Belt League. Saw quite a few teams out of there. Elsinore, of course, last year's CIF champs. Also Heritage, strong performance from them last year in the Sun Belt League. Paloma Valley, they of course hosted the monster passing league that we went to. And also Temescal Canyon. Will, who caught your eye out of the Sun Belt?
The Sun Belt, I think, is going to be an interesting league. Just for the fact that, you got so many teams that like to mix the run and the pass. You have Elsinore, who is the, returning CIF champion, but you've got to remember they didn't even win the league last year. It was Heritage coming out of there running that spread system that was able to take that conference. So, you wonder what, and Temescal Canyon, another team that runs almost exclusively. And then you've got Paloma Valley, a team that likes to air it out in that spread formation. So it's kind of just a varying sort of schemes that are in that conference. And it's hard to pick a favorite right now. I mean, as we take a look at some of the action from that Paloma Valley passing tournament, I like Heritage. And you and I had this conversation the other day. Obviously you have to give Elsinore some respect because of what they were able to accomplish in the postseason. But Heritage was a team that's got some returners, and especially at the all-important position, which is the quarterback position.
He's a junior, I believe, right?
Yes, and I'm digging through my notes right here. Chad Virgil, it would be. Yeah, he's a kid that's going to grow up a lot this year. And you have to look at, especially helpful for him is going to be the fact that he's got some skill players returning. Jamal Morrow is a guy that can run the football, guy that can catch the football coming out of the backfield. Tony Hefo, a guy that can run the football for a young quarterback. And as well, he's got a guy named Darius Allensworth, who flew under the radar a little bit last year, is a guy that I think could really come up and make a big impact this year. And we mentioned with Elsinore, some of the struggles they might have. They're losing a lot. I mean, losing a running back, losing a quarterback. You've got some talent coming back, including Jose Banda and Nolan Peralta on the defensive side of things. But, you had a lot of, obviously you've got a lot of talent on the offensive line and the defensive line, which is stuff we don't see in passing league. But as far as if they're going to be able to repeat, it's a question as far as I'm concerned.
Success in passing league not necessarily indicative to success in the regular season. I believe they struggled last year as well in passing league. This year, obviously, 0-3, I think they were.
And that Paloma Valley passing tournament, yes, they didn't win.
But let's not put all our eggs in one basket quite yet.
No. And Coach Peralta was the one that coined the phrase, there are, summer league chumps and fall champs. And so,
obviously fall champs is where all the money's at.
Absolutely. And just real quickly for Paloma Valley, the team that did host that tournament and is a team that is, very active on the summer league passing circuit. I know this was one of Lewis and Zink's favorite teams, of the illustrious hosts of HS Game Time Live. And they've got a lot of talents at the quarterback position as we take a look.
A little action from the main stadium right here.
Absolutely. Logan Tutwiler, the man under center, he's a very experienced guy out there. And Anthony Johnson, who was about one of the most talented players I think we saw on the entire passing league circuit this summer at wide receiver. And a guy that knows how to celebrate as well once he gets into the end zone. We
saw quite a few playmakers out there. Speaking of playmakers, in the Inland Valley, Rancho Verde, a lot of playmakers on that squad to go along with Valley View, Ramona, Moreno Valley, Canyon Springs, and Arlington. Plenty of teams that we saw that were very active in the passing league. Moreno Valley especially. Break down a couple of the Inland Valley squads you like.
Yeah. Rancho Verde is the favorite. Another team that's a CIF contender, I think. And, even though they lose a lot with Tyler Champion at quarterback, they've got a guy coming back in Carlos Hernandez, who can really play. That kid, Maybe it's going to have some time to learn the system a little bit. Not that's perhaps the brightest tool in the shed quite yet.
He can wing it, though.
But he can throw the football, and he's got a lot of talent around him. Guys like Ryko Green coming back at running back, and Tomorrow Stringfellow at wide receiver. They've got talent.
4 or 5 legitimate guys to throw to out there.
They got talent. And it was funny. I mean, as we were picking our plays of the passing tournament, which we will get to at the end of this segment, our top 10 plays, you watched Rancho, and it was tough to pick any of their plays that looked spectacular because they all just looked so routine. It was just like clockwork at, I believe it was the West Valley tournament we were at, or Valley View, I believe.
Now, another team that has had their struggles, but we saw them out there quite a bit in passing league, was Moreno Valley.
Right.
Scrappy team, definitely put in a lot of work. Do you see it paying off?
I see it paying off on the defensive side of the ball. I mean, they're a very aggressive team. Offensively, they're talking about running the football a little bit, or passing the football a little bit more. Scroggins under center. But, I think it's a team that's going to have its struggles again offensively, and it's going to be a team that relies on the run a little bit. But definitely, on the defensive side of the ball, they're flying around, they're getting to the football, and they're competitive. And, you want guys that compete on that side of the ball, they've got them.
And a team that last year went winless, but definitely we like their quarterback, Mr. TJ Miller. That's Ramona. Break it down for Ramona a little bit. Possibly well, obviously it's got to be a rebound season.
I don't think you get any worse than 11, sir. TJ Miller is a kid that we really like here as far as just his story, and it's going to be one that we'll have one of these Sundays as a centerpiece in our sports section, or actually just on the front of the entire paper.
When we saw him, he looked pretty decent as well.
He can play. I don't think there's any question that TJ is a kid that has the skills. Was invited to the Top Gun camp out in Pennsylvania on the East Coast. it's a very elite camp run by the Nike All-American folks. And he's got some talent coming back at wide receiver. Guys like Casey Atkins, coming back for him is actually his cousin, one of his favorite receivers. And it's hard to anoint them as a champion in that league, especially with such talent, especially with the Rancho Verde there, and with a team like Arlington that obviously knows how to win as well. But I certainly don't think, as you said, they can do worse than 0-11.
Yeah, Rancho Verde's got to be top dog out there in the Inland Valley. But Ramona, if they can get a few wins this year, definitely after the season they had last year, they got to call that pretty good progress.
I would say so.
And also, last but not least, the Mountain Pass, Louis Amstoy's most definitely favorite league. Hemet, we didn't get a chance to see them, but we did see West Valley and San Jacinto, or as Will likes to call them, San Jacinto. San Jacinto and West Valley both impressing. Pretty good performances out there this summer.
I would say so. I think San Jacinto's got some work to do. They lose a lot with their top 3 receivers gone now, and that was a group led by Emmanuel Hutchinson, a guy that was also a star on the track arena. The guys to watch for San Jacinto, I think, would be their quarterback, Kevin Clark. He's a guy that's got some experience, a guy that's a great athlete, knows how to get out and use the feet. And I think the other guy to watch as far as, a playmaker for him potentially is a guy, Malik Kimbrough. He's just a sophomore, but is really an explosive guy on both sides of the ball. Could definitely make a difference this year, and certainly had his moments on the passing league circuit this summer. And West Valley, when it comes down to it, Jonathan Davis, a guy at running back.
Great singer for the band Korn.
Yeah, and you would know that as well. They've got the aficionado from Palm Springs and all of the death metal bands out there right next to me. But Jonathan Davis, the football player, one of the most explosive players that I saw on the passing league circuit this summer. He's a legit 4.40 guy, and has really got the ability to make some plays. Definitely going to be one to watch out in that Mountain Pass League.
Speedy team, nonetheless. And also San Jacinto, a favorite here of HSGT. They call in a lot. Lewis and Zink both love their calls, so we hope to hear a lot from them during HS Game Time Live. Well, that does it for the segment, the wrap-up part. But now it comes time for our favorite. We're going to break down the top 10 plays from the passing league. We definitely saw a lot of jaw droppers out there. Couple plays that didn't impress so much. Couple close calls almost took me out and the camera out on one. But we're going to start out with our top 10 plays. We can roll those up. We'll show them to you right now.
This first one is out from the Beaumont Passing League, and it was a pretty entertaining tournament.
Mr. Drexler out there.
Right.
Palm Springs was the champ out there, I just wanted to mention.
Absolutely. Great catch there. as we
Can we get a little slow-mo
take a peek
on
at that? Yeah, like a little slow-mo action there. That's definitely worth it.
Mid-air acrobatics.
It's Scroggins, as we were talking about, throwing that one. I don't know who's on the receiving end of that, but
these are in no particular order, by the way. We're just kind of going with the flow.
it was a play that was a nice tipped catch there, although I believe actually was an interception. Yes,
the old pick six, not quite as good as the infamous Teron Smith, or Mr. Smith from Banning last year, the play that Lewis thought he died and went to heaven when he saw that. But nonetheless, an impressive pick. Teron Smith.
This guy, he's a wordsmith.
Anywho.
Santa Margarita now in the Paloma Valley passing tournament. What was a team that was very impressive. This play, we're not sure how he caught that one, and nor
did he catch it. We can't tell.
We'll show it again.
Our HD zoom cam was broken at that point.
David Zink wasn't quite convinced that he caught that one, but the official was right on top of it.
Official was right there, just, 3 feet away, so if he didn't make that call...
I don't think he could make any one.
Yeah. But pretty impressive, some contact, body control right there, tiptoeing it on the back line. If he caught that, that's one heck of a catch.
Making the play. Still out there, Paloma Valley.
Or no, Paloma?
This is Paloma Valley.
Excuse me, pardon me.
This is Santa Margarita again. That is probably the best catch of the passing tournament.
Off the foot. Can we go back a little bit?
Let's see that one again.
Off the foot. He thinks he's playing soccer for a second. Off the defender.
That's Elsinore.
And back in his hands.
Yeah, that's a tip drill there. Although you tip it off your foot, I'm not sure that's quite how they practice it.
Almost touches the grass. Borderline call there. Look at that.
Oh, yeah, he's got that. Elsinore thinks I got the pick.
And right there. I think he rubbed his rabbit's foot before he came out to passing league. And on to the next.
So Scroggins again.
This is Moreno Valley.
Now this one gets...
They're in the deep fly.
Yeah. He got the foot down there.
I thought Randy Moss retired. Apparently he was out there at the Paloma Passing League.
One more time there.
It's airing it out. Moreno Valley not afraid to be aggressive with their play calling.
Absolutely not. One of the most aggressive teams on that circuit on both sides of the ball. It's Moreno Valley again here.
Another similar play deep in the end zone. That's the way that they go. They like to do the deep dive in the back of the end zone. That's their
that is the
go-to play. Not a bad arm on their QB, though, I got to say. Playmakers like that, why not?
Careful. Hold on to your lunch on that one.
On the run.
This is at Vista Murrieta.
Yep, the old tip pass again. The old better to be lucky than good sometimes.
And that's Nick Stevens, who we had talked about a little bit in the early going for Vista Murrieta.
Couple good playmakers on the offensive side for them.
This is one of my favorites. And that's another guy we talked about at Paloma Valley.
No pads, but plenty of contact out here in passing league.
Yeah, Logan Tutwiler finding Anthony Johnson. We called both of those names quite a few times out there at Paloma Valley.
Let's get one more look at that if we can.
There it is.
Makes the play, takes the whack to the face.
Now, Ercoli initially wasn't impressed with that, but once he took the whack to the face, that made his radar.
That just added a little bit more zest, a little more spice to that play. So.
It's another good one.
On the next, this is like Torrey Hunter.
Moreno Valley making another appearance on the top 10.
Moreno, what's that? 3 for
There's
Moreno Valley now, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
Got it in. He got it in. Diving in the back of the end zone. That's the way they. That's their bread and butter, apparently. And look at that corner play. First of all, Mr. Drexler, great cinematography right here. Just corner of the end zone. Money coming right up into the grill. Body control, hitting that pylon in the corner.
I believe that is West Valley making that play.
Pound for pound, just a great play right there. If these teams make some plays like this in the fall, I think we're going to be in for an entertaining season. Look at this. Not to mention a great pass nonetheless right there.
Put it right in the money. It's grass basketball, baby.
Perfect placement. Look at that.
I think our producer, Louis Amostor, really likes this
Louis likes that one. He's rewound this a good 9 or 10 times by now. Anyways, back to me. Now it's time for, and we're an active part. Let me center myself back up here. We're an active part of this whole next segment. It's the worst plays, 5 worst plays. Entertaining ones for us, even one that, unfortunately, I was almost too much a part of.
This first one here,
back in Beaumont,
a sure touchdown.
I think he rubbed the butter, the popcorn butter on his hands before he caught that one. Maybe he was too open. I don't know.
Instead of the rabbit's foot?
Yeah. He had the unlucky rabbit's foot, I guess. Jeez.
And then here we are back at Paloma Valley. I believe this is Calvary Murrieta.
Another one where sometimes it hurts to be... Oh, no, excuse me. This was the old bounce the ball off your hands, go pick six the other way. Coach sends you down on the bench to fill up the Gatorade jug after that.
Well, I'd say one thing if you drop a pass, but when you're getting the drop picked off.
If it goes pick six, if that was in a regular season game, I think Coach might have a heart attack if he saw something like that.
Yeah, that's not going to win you many football games right there.
Definitely not. That's going to get you a seat on the bench.
And this one is not for the play itself, although he does make a nice little play.
Slide, and it's more, if you could continue on with the play here, Lewis, the magical part comes after the slide if you keep playing. It's the amazing catch, or rather no catch, more like keep going here. We know why this guy is not a QB. A pass like that, and definitely was not Lynn Swan was not reffing that day because the ref was no match for this high toss.
Granted, it didn't exactly hit him in the numbers. You got to make that play.
Yeah, take his head off. On that one,
this is the same game.
There's our friend couple right there rough catches. Yeah, our friend there. I believe I was very disgruntled by this play or lack of play that was made here.
Yeah, Chris Ercoli
Another one right through the hands. I believe I
disappointed in the drops, to say the least.
I had a word or two to describe that one. A little disappointing. And he kicks the ball in frustration nonetheless. And here, whoa! He heard footsteps right there. I think he got a little excited, forgot it was passing league. There was no contact. Hopefully he doesn't go pop goes the peanut like that during the regular season or else we're going to have some problems. Anyways, also, not to mention, I think Lewis left out the finest play, the near miss of the camera. Can we cue that one up?
There it is.
Right here. I almost died. The ball was coming right for me. If you could hear the narration on that one. Can we play it back again, please? The audio, I almost died. The camera almost got knocked out. We almost owed PE.com another $5,000 there. Luckily, I kind of did a Matrix out of the way. I kind of did a Neo. EPJ there, famous sports writer for HSGT, was also in attendance. Will and I, Will kind of...
I out of there.
Yeah, he just ran out of town.
You got to take care of number one.
Hey, but that just shows our dedication to the passing league. We are willing to put our lives on the line to bring you the best footage from the passing league. So definitely entertaining nonetheless, I got to say.
Absolutely.
All right. Well, I believe as sad as it is for us to go, it is also exciting because that means that football is even closer. Only a few weeks before Week 0, plenty of big matchups. And, of course, in Week 0, that is when none other than the Pickoff, HS Game Time Pickoff. You go to hsgametime.pe.com. We have the Pick'em League. You may play fantasy football, but how about the HS Game Time Pick'em League? That's where you can go and sign up, pick every week, see who's the champ. Lewis, out of his own bank account, is going to donate $1 million for the grand prize. Let's just take a little sample out of the picks right now. Some of the big matchups that we have going. We've got King and Ramona right now in that matchup. 71% of you are picking King. How about, and also another look at another big game, Paloma, Great Oak, a game that we're excited here to see a couple teams that we were impressed with in passing league to get a test in Week 0 action. 75% picking Great Oak, Paloma Valley. I'd say I agree with Great Oak. I believe Will said he would go with Paloma Valley in that pick.
It's a toss-up.
Toss-up, kind of a flip of the coin. But right now, 75% of you picking Great Oak. How about San Jacinto and Heritage? Two teams from the Hemet area. 87% for Heritage. A lot of Patriot fans out there getting their votes in on the pick'em. Of course, with the Patriots, possibly with a name like that, that's got to be a winning tradition.
We all know that Chris Ercoli has a penchant for quoting NFL players, as well as teams, as well as Major League Baseball teams.
Heritage, though, a young team, 4 years, I believe that high school's been around, but still they've gotten off to a hot start. So hopefully a win over San Jacinto, who looks to be a solid team this year. That would be an impressive first win.
I've got Heritage.
87%. Yeah, they're agreeing with Will. Also, let's take a look at the tiebreaker. This one's not a percentage, but rather a total score, the average total score in the Rancho Verde West Valley game. Another matchup that looks to be pretty intriguing. West Valley and Rancho Verde, 36-14. People are picking Rancho Verde right now with the offense and the playmakers that they have, that talent. 36 points is very doable for them, you got to say. Will.
More than I would expect a little more than that, actually.
Possible 50-point game?
It's maybe a little bit
40s.
40s.
Anyway, you go to hsgametime.pe.com. You can sign up for the Pick'em League on there. Also, let's not forget to go on Facebook, and you can be a friend of and like HSGT, the page. We're going to have videos galore on there. We already have plenty of videos on there right now. Lewis is doing a top 10 countdown from the best videos from last season right now. I believe he's on video number 5 on the countdown. With football season we're on video number 4. And we're going to have 3, excuse me. I'm blind. I couldn't see the numbers that he had on there. Anyways, so and come season long, we're going to have probably 6 or 8 games of highlights each week. So we'll have plenty of videos, not to mention interviews during the week. So go to that HS Game Time, our Facebook page, fan page. Go on there, like it. We only have 1.5 million followers right now. We can still afford another 1.5 million. Lewis loves that he's always on there, so he will make sure to keep the page plenty busy. Anyways, we're going to wrap it up here. The countdown is on for HS Game Time Live. September 2nd will be coming to you. Make sure to come on to hsgametime.pe.com. HS Game Time Live with Lewis Amistoy, Dave Zink, Pep. Mr. Pep, our new addition, will be on there. Will be on there. I will be on there. The Prep Dog, EPJ, every one of your famous faces. I think I just named the whole staff. Anyways, for now, for Will Holden, I'm Chris Ercoli for HS Game Time, and we are signing out.